and you're live with me. Yeah, this is different. This is really different. So I guess we're just gonna put this into the color series that we got going on, because we hit this purple, this little, like, I don't even know what to call this. I'm on a berry streak right now. I like this kind of purple vibe. We got some blending going on with some Halloween stuff. This look was heavily inspired by Gabrielle on Instagram, so I just had to recreate it. It's my first time ever doing a Halloween look, and so if you guys want more of these, let me know, because you know, clearly your girl got some skills. Your girl can do a little something. So if you're interested in seeing this and how I create this look, stay tuned. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, first things first, we're gonna go into our full spectrum palette from Urban Decay in the shade Calavera, and we're gonna apply that all over the lid. I initially did something different and used a white base just to see if the colors will pop up more, and they didn't. So either way, if you use your concealer or a white base on your lid, it doesn't really matter. As long as you know how to build the shades up, you'll be fine. Next, I'm going to go into my Urban Decay Electric palette in the shade Savage. And we're just going to apply that to the bottom area of that yellow. I'm just going to build that all the way up. Notice how I'm using the same brush that I was using for the yellow. This will help when it comes to blending the shades together. So instead of it just being a stark contrast, you can actually see a gradual change. Next, in that same palette, we're going to go in the shade Jilted. And initially, I patted that color onto the lid to really get that shade. I wanted all the pigment on there, and then I decided to move it in there. Again, I did build the shade up along with everything else. This shade, you don't necessarily have to move up and out with. You can really put it all along that lid eye area. Next, we're just going to cut that crease. This will be a full cut crease, so we're going to take it really all the way to the end. Listen, if you don't know how to cut a crease by now, we can't be friends, okay? I've been cutting creases for the past 5 videos. So, going back with the same colors, we're just going to put Savage in the middle, Calavera towards the front, and we're going to use a white color from Urban Decay Spectrum palette, and we're going to put that in the front. And the 35 in, a deep purple from 35 in, towards the end of that. That was a lot, I'm so sorry. Next, we're gonna use the Maybelline Baby Mask and just put it all along my T-zone. I have humongous pores. No, I can't do anything about them. Leave me alone. Stop trying to clock my pores. That's why I bake. That's why I bake. And now I'm gonna go in with my Urban Decay spray, my prep spray. This is the L'Oreal Pro Glow Foundation that we're going to be using. Make sure you shake this up before you use it. It is a water-based. Along with that, I'm going to take my NYX Born to Glow cream. I'm just going to mix it in with my foundation as I work it along my face. So you guys already know how to do my face, so we're just going to skip all through this. Nothing's changed. Once the foundation's on, we're just going to go into the Anastasia contour palette. This is the lightest shade they have. I'm just going to put this as my base because it is a creamy contour. And although I'm not going to contour today, seriously, I do just want to make sure I do have a nice base. And then when I finish doing that, I am going to go over it in the color Warm Honey with my LA Girl Pro Concealer. And I'm just gonna blend it out. Remember to wait a couple of minutes before you blend it out, just to give it like that seamless, natural look. Next, we're just gonna go to that shade palette, Kat Von D palette, and I'm just gonna pat the powder into my skin. Referencing the Gabrielle post on Instagram, now we're just going to outline all the details in this black Wet n Wild pencil. This pencil saved my life. I've had this pencil for like a year and some change, and I never use this pencil the way I use it for this look, y'all. So get this pencil and it'll work magic. So this video is a little out of order. That's just because that's the way I do my face. So you're just gonna have to watch as I kind of pretty much jump around. I don't stay stagnant in one area too long. And this is just because that's how I feel like I keep the creative juices going. So as you can see, I'm outlining my nose. I feel like this doesn't have to be too perfect. Clearly I messed up, but you can always fix your mistakes when you go in and start shading and coloring. Now I'm just going to outline my jaw area, and you see me trying to poke it out just because she does have an outline jaw. Gabrielle's jaw is naturally strong. Mine isn't, you know. Got that face, so I gotta make my own jaw. This is fine. So this outline is really just gonna help us figure out where we want what on our face. And again, if you mess up on this outline like I did a couple of times, don't worry about it. Once we go in and shade, it'll be fixed, it'll be correctified, as long as everything's in the general area. Now we are most definitely gonna fill in that center part of our mouth. And this will serve as kind of like the base for our teeth. This is kind of like how we know where our teeth will be. Again, I'm jumping around. I'm just gonna go up, back into the brows, because I feel like this is gonna be the easiest thing for me. So, a couple of little lines, and I'm just gonna go in and shade. So the reason why I'm using this pencil is because I want this pencil to be used as a base before I even apply any type of powder. Whenever you start to use these things as bases, it's so much better because it meets the oil first, so when you put the powder on, nothing's gonna seep through. Jumping around, we're just gonna fill in that little hole I made kind of in the side. That's supposed to emulate like your skull indentation on the side of your face. Yours could be a little bit bigger, but that's fine. Next, we're just gonna take a BH Cosmetics brush, and we're just again gonna smooth out everything with a black from the Morphe 35M palette. Going in with a smaller, little fluffy and denser brush from Vanity Planet, we're just gonna start to smoke out some of those lines that we created earlier. Making sure we don't lose any of that definition, we're just gonna use our Wet n Wild pencil and go back in and define these lines. Again, with the same Vanity Planet brush, we are going to smoke out the lines that we created along our nose. Jumping around, we're just going to take that same black pencil and put it all in our waterline on our eye, just so we can get this really smoky, pigmented look going. And taking the colors in reverse, we're going to start off with Jilted and place that closest to our lower lash line. Now we're going to take Savage and follow it up with Jilted. And it's very important that you guys know how I'm bringing these down. I'm bringing these shades down so that they can really pop in the skull. Now with Calavera, we're just gonna line that over Savage and kind of bring it down just a little bit more, just so you could really see the depth in the look. Now I'm just scrunching up my face just to make sure I have all those itty bitty details that are kind of annoying but work. And I'm doing this with the Wet n Wild gel liner. Now following the top of my, the bottom of my eye socket, I'm just creating little lines and indentures that we're later gonna smoke out just to create another definition and more detailed look. This is really extra, you don't have to, but I noticed Gabrielle did have lines in her brow. Clearly my brows are shorter than hers, but I did it anyway. Now following that same area in the face, we're just gonna go back up with Jilted and place that along the bridges of our nose. I feel like if you want to contour, like you should totally just do a skull for Halloween. It'll teach you all about your face shape. And you'll be like, oh really, I can do this with that. And I'm just using a denser pointer brush just to make sure I have more control. And you also see me going back in with a fluffy brush just so I can really make sure everything is blended in nicely. Now with a smaller and more pointed brush with little black pigment on, I am simply brushing all those black lines out and bringing them down. I'm not bringing them too far down, but I do want to make sure that they are down enough to where you can truly see the gradual change from deep to gray to light. Now going along with the teeth, I messed up on the teeth so bad. OMG, I messed up on the teeth so bad. But if you don't know how to draw teeth and you can't do square, I was doing like a little flower type of teeth thing. And that was great until, I realized like, wow, this is so difficult. So later I'll show you guys how to correct this step. But for the most part, if you're a beginner, you can either do squares. That's so bad. You can either do squares or you can again do like some rose petals. But by the time you smoke it out and go back in to correct this stuff, you won't even know that I messed up, okay? Now again with the same pointed brush that we used up above for the face, we're just gonna take that with again a little bit of black and we're going to begin to airbrush the teeth up. This is gonna make our teeth look as though like they're longer and they're not as prominent. This is really gonna give us a smoky look, and we're just gonna take that all along the lips, the bottom jawline, and above into the mouth. So with our LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Warm Honey, I am now outlining these bottom teeth because I was like, oh heck no, this is trash, and I'm recorrecting everything. The bigger your teeth are, the less detailed you have to be. The smaller they are, the more detailed you have to be. So keep that in mind when doing this. Continue to outline my jawline and begin to shade everything out. This part requires a lot of shading and perspective points. So when those areas where we want to show that there's a change in like jawlines and area, we do want to keep those areas dark. So you will see me going back into the black multiple times. And again, now with that same color from the Urban Decay Electric Palette, Jilted, we are going to place that along the sides of the mouth. And now we're just going to fluff that out to make sure that it is perfectly blended and it looks really, really good. so we're really taking Jilted all the way down into the chin. Notice how I'm leaving space for my jawline. And again, we're taking Jilted and we're just gonna move that all up above into the mouth to really give us that faded out look. Now just to clean up these stuff, I noticed that she had a couple more details going along the side of her jaw, so we're just gonna add that into the skull. Now we're just gonna repeat what we did on the other side to this side. And I initially started off with Jilted because it was just easier. I noticed that it was more purple on that side than black. Now going in with the black, we're just gonna follow those path marks we made initially and keep it pushing. I'm cleaning up those areas with some concealer. This is again the color Warm Honey from LA Girl, and this is just going to help us clean up the skull as well as give it some extra details. So where that black line was that I initially made, I'm just gonna put some more concealer. Next, going into my Nicole Geurerro highlight kit by Anastasia Beverly Hills, I'm gonna take that lightest color, which is 143, and I'm going to apply it on the chin, on my cheekbone. Yeah, get all that glow. Get all that glow. The one time I don't have the Aurora palette. So sad. In my flappy folds, as Alyssa Ashley calls them. And this is really gonna take our skull from like scary to glam, and it's gonna be great. You can be neat or you can be messy. It is a skull, so I don't think it matters, but you know, some people think it does. And there you have it. This is my first ever Halloween look, the skull. Again, this is all used by makeup, and so I hope you guys enjoyed this look because I enjoyed making it. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you love this look and want more, let me know in the bottom. See ya.